Listen, I want to ask you a question. Who's coaching you? Can you tell me who is cheering you on to the finish line of your life? Well, the Coach's Corner is dedicated to helping you do just that. Moreover, we're here to help you survive and then teach you how to thrive. Now, tuning in to the Coach's Corner is an academic and meditative event. We want to help you move forward to create momentum in the journey toward your success. So are you ready to get to work today? Give me 20 minutes and we can change your life forever. This is the Coach's Corner on SIBN Radio. All right, y'all, welcome to the Coach's Corner. Once again, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Don't forget to follow us right there on Twitter at SaletteUSAtv, SaletteUSAtv right there on Twitter, and subscribe to us right there on YouTube. My name is Marcus Salette. Shortly as I approach the microphone on today, I admit to you I have my own professional and personal issues, but I hope that through my mistakes, through my errors, through the things that I have lacked in and been deficient, the lessons that I have learned from those areas, I can contribute to you the wisdoms of the matter for you to go forward in your life and make something out of it. Always remember, please, failure is at some point necessary to give us the lessons of how to succeed. Let's get right to work. So today's thought is, what do you know about your patterns of thinking? What do you understand about your pattern thinking? What do you understand about your pattern thinking? And we're just chatting here, so if you want to get your journal, your paper, your pencil, we're just chatting here. I have to remember, an engineer doesn't come in this early sometimes when we go live or when we're trying to tape something for on-demand audience. So I have to remember the stop clock. But how much do you know about how well your thought patterns are benefiting your life? Now, I'm going to go in to win. We're not going to hold anything back on the Coach's Corner. First of all, let me say this. If you have some lingering problems, anybody that knows me really well, and there's some people that have been with me a long time, but they don't know me, that's a problem. But anybody that's been with me a long time knows that the one thing that I can't stand is a problem that continues to linger, a problem that continues to just hang around. And on the Coach's Corner for this particular year, this particular season, we want to help you. So I want to put a word out to you that if you want to email us some lingering issues, Marcus Salette at Gmail is all that you need. Marcus Salette at Gmail. That's MarcusSalette at gmail.com. Send us some things you want us to tackle on the microphone or in private that are lingering issues. You're unmotivated in that area. You're uninspired, or you start and then you stop, and you need to know how to move past that. So we're talking about, and one of the keys is understanding how you think. Understanding how you think and understanding what you are thinking about. What are you thinking about? Because your next reality is from your most dominant thought pattern. Let me say that again. Your next reality is being created right now based on your thought pattern. And it's very, very challenging in this culture. In a culture where we have everything when we want it. From Uber to Lyft, from DoorDash to Grubhub. Those are the people that bring you your food and rides whenever you press a button. Soon, Amazon is said to be dropping packages from the sky on your lawn. Robots are already being unleashed in hotels in Europe that will smile and give you a bottle of water. We're so used to the presto lifestyle. And it doesn't leave much room for the strategies for those who are up and coming to figure out how to succeed in spite of. That's what the Coach's Corner is all about. That's what you and I are going to be doing over the months, over the years together. I have some people that I've been mentoring since they were in junior high school, and they have made great strides. I'm serious. Some have, many of them went on to college. Here at SIBN, we've mentored some right here at SIBN. So it's two levels of mentoring: technology in one area, and then of course personal development. The personal development allots us to make headway and move forward in many areas. I've coached and mentored some people who were at a poverty rate income-wise and reached 100K. But because there are so many people out there that they want the blessing, but they don't want the blesser, or they want the message, but they don't want the messenger. And we've got to move past wanting to show how much candy we can buy and move into the place and the mindset of legacy. So I want to challenge you to begin to analyze your thinking, to find out whether or not your thought patterns are filled with associations. Are they filled with thoughts by which you have associated or connected or judged or concluded based on an event, and you've brought that conclusion, that judgment, over into your now, and within your now sits the contaminant, the pollinated, and associated thought processes or patterns that by the time you get to your future, you've already done damage to your future. So when you get there, the damage will already be there because you took something from yesterday, you prejudged it, you walked into tomorrow, of which is not promised, and you have said X, Y, and Z. And so this particular series is about learning your thought patterns, adjusting where necessary, making sure that I'm being integral on the inside, no matter where I am. It doesn't matter where I'm at. I was driving one time. Well, I don't want to tell that story, but we judge a lot. We judge a lot. I'll just say that. We judge people a lot. We judge people a lot. When we have evidence, we judge them a lot. And when we don't have evidence, more of the latter, we judge. We judge situations a lot. We judge opportunities a lot. Listen, I want you to stay so wide open that anything becomes possible with you. I want you to stay so charged up that even in your worst moment, it's working for you. As I said earlier, that failure at some point is necessary to give us the lessons on how to succeed. Failure at some point is necessary to give us the lessons, so even your failure is beneficial to you. Failures in previous areas, failures in future areas, failures from people around you that were close to you that you honored and respect or looked up to. Failure at some point is necessary to give us the lessons on how to succeed. And who doesn't want to know how to succeed? Who does not want to know how to move forward? Now listen, I'm not talking about the pretentiousness of moving forward where you forget to solve problems and address conflicts. We have a growing cancer, if you will, of pretentiousness, where we don't want to be critical in our thinking to address the elephants in the room. And we can't move for assured success, let alone build a significant legacy, if we're not able to solve conflict. And solving conflict, from that pretentious point that I made, is not about just moving forward. I don't want to talk about it. Okay, you have preferences, but always remember, preference can kill potential. preference, my personal preference, might stand in the way of what I am potentially able to achieve. My personal preference could stand in the way of what I personally could achieve. And so I don't want to get so hung up in my preferences, even my preference for what I can't stand, even my preference for the detestable, even my preference for that which makes me cringe, because but for the grace of God, there go I. And we are so judgmental, not only of people, but we're judgmental of circumstances. For instance, you had a bad experience on an elevator, so now you'll never get on the elevator again. I only take the stairs. That's an associated thought that is now contaminated with a bad experience, pollinated, meaning the seeds of my thoughts have been sent to my future. And this is a meditative type session this morning, not necessarily that you're meditating with me, but when you leave this screen, when you leave this audio, when you leave this webcast, you're going to begin to see what I'm saying. Have you denied opportunities that were clear and free and open to you, but because of how you saw things, the things that were trying to give you a change could not be afforded because your thought processes was locked in a past experience? And you boasted to all your friends, and everyone believed you because you were loud enough and convincing enough and persuasive enough to them, but you're not loud enough and persuasive enough and convincing to yourself that you learned anything from that, but everybody knew that you just moved forward. That means I forgot about it. I survived him. I survived her. I survived that. I put it in its place. I told it what I thought. I gave it a piece of my mind, and I'm going on. Well, excuse me. Well, you have a certain amount of luggage that goes with you everywhere you go. And it's going to creep back up. And do we as individuals, families, communities become somewhat integral as we move forward on the journey of success? So the question is, how well do you know your thought patterns? There's no formula to my questions. There's no formula answer to my question. It's a freestanding question. Do you know how you think? Do you know what you're thinking about? One of the things that I have learned as an entrepreneur is that desperation kills admiration, or desperation kills inspiration. Desperation kills inspiration. Let me say it again. Desperation is different from having a need. I need some help. Desperation means you're rattled. You're worried. You're not using all of the tools around you. Your mind is too much in the future, or maybe too much in the past. You're not smelling the roses where you are. The possibilities are endless because I'm breathing. The possibilities are endless because I want to do more than survive. Or initially, if you're going through a calamity, or if you're going through a situation, the possibilities are endless because I want to survive. The possibilities are endless because once I've learned how to survive, I want to thrive. I want to thrive. Thriving is not consuming and eating everything around me. Thriving is not denying that I have some serious issues rooted most likely in my childhood or young adulthood that I've carried as my on plane baggage, if you will. Got on the plane of life, journeying towards success, and I'm paying extra costs for all the bags that I lug around. We all have done it. And so it's crucial for us to be honest. Listen, if you can't be honest with your partner, if you can't be honest with your mother, if you can't be honest with your father, some of those people are past in your life. If you can't be honest with your sister, you can't be honest with your brother, you can't be honest with your girl, with your guy, be honest with yourself and be honest with God, because the roots will determine the fruits. And the integral parts that we exhibit in the mirror will be reflective in all we do. The integral parts that we reflect in the mirror, when we face us, we win. because then we become a contagious force by which others can pattern their lives after, perhaps in some degree, and also eat the fruits of peace and joy and love and long suffering and things of this nature, because we're walking from a place unseen. Today's thought: what are you thinking about? What is the pattern of your thinking? I remember when I was young, I used to be able to predict almost to the week, every August, sometimes July, but definitely August, but starting in July, I could pinpoint when that allergy would start. And I would speak to it, and I had all the thoughts arranged toward an event that happened in the past. And assuredly, if I had a bad allergy this year, I had already anticipated that same experience would go into my future. So I had already pollinated my future with words and thoughts that I hope it won't be this bad next year, or whatever it is that I would say. And sure enough, that next year would come around, and by that July, of course, ending in sometime late August, that allergy would be the worst thing of my life. And I looked forward to it almost every year, predictively. I looked forward to that allergy every single year. It was absolutely incredible that I expected it to come. That's an example of associated thinking that becomes at some point perhaps contaminated and pollinated. Pollinated mean it begins to affect the future that you're going to. It begins to affect the future that you're going to. And I'm trying to, let me finish that story. And so one year, I can't tell the whole story, but I can tell you that one year I was associated with a different level of energy, different level of spirituality, different quality of people, different quality of people to the point of their confessions, not only of faith, but personal development confessions. And I began to say, well, I don't want an allergy every year, an allergy reaction every year. And so for the first 2-3 years, the people that knew me most, if they heard me sniffle, they would say, oh, your allergies get ready to start. And I would answer them by the words of my mouth, the fruit thereof I ate. I said to them, no, it's not. I just sniffle sometimes in the morning occasionally, especially if it's cool and then all of a sudden it becomes hot. Or if it's humid, or if the air was dry, whatever the case may be. But they always tried to remind me, yeah, sounds like that allergy is coming. That's associated thinking right there. Contamination is that the fact that they're trying to change my view on my previous allergy experiences by bringing something from yesterday, into my now. And then it would be up to me to cross-pollinate yesterday with now and send seeds of yesterday and now into the future. By the time I get to the next year, I'm back to the same allergic reaction that lasts for 4.5-5 weeks. Do you know the pattern by which you think? And of course, the facts bear out some associated thoughts. That goes without saying. Some thoughts bear out in the facts, if you will. But the facts can be altered. Because once I change the way I look at things, the things that I'm looking at with that new perspective can change. But we don't have, I was sharing with one of my interns, we don't have a lot of positive people around us when you really check it out. We have competing forces around us. We have critical forces around us. We have earning potential forces around us, competing in the earnings category. We have religious folks around us. We have family around us. We have so-called friends around us, associated friends around us, associations. But we rarely have positive people that believe in us just because we're human. People that believe in us because we're human, irregardless of what they have heard or seen us do. They believe that we can accomplish the impossible and touch and bring into our lives the intangible. We don't have that kind of culture anymore. We've relegated all the positive stuff to YouTube and to iTunes and to these various places where you have to go now and click a button for you to be able to hear and enjoy and become inspired. And that's great. But the living, breathing people in our atmosphere, in our environment, could make the difference in our lives if they stop, and if we stop allowing them, and if we ourselves stop taking all of our thoughts and associating them or prejudging them or concluding the matter too early and sending the seeds of those conclusions and judgments into the future and causing our future to therefore be contaminated by the time we arrive in tomorrow. Tomorrow is contaminated with today. By the time we arrive in today, today is contaminated with yesterday. All because we didn't understand how we were thinking. What do I need to shed? What do I need to get rid of? What do I need to add to my thought processes? What do I need to alter? How do I need to grow up in my thinking? What could I do to stimulate my thinking? I want to encourage you today. There is no better feeling than to know that anything is possible at any time. Yes, there needs to be a set of circumstances, a set of processes that operate and go forth, a set of journeys, set of objectives, time measurability factors, all of that. Small goals, miniature goals, intermediate goals, long term, all that. Certain principles. But at the end of the day, we still have to believe that anything is possible. Do you believe it? I hope that you do. My time is gone. Thank you so much for joining us right here on DaCoach's Corner. Whatever you do, follow us on Twitter at SaletteUSAtv. Appreciate you subscribing right there on YouTube, SIBN television and radio networks. Don't forget, you can catch us right there on iTunes as well. Search the podcast section, SIBN television and radio. My time is gone. Until next time, don't forget, failure at some point is necessary to give us the lessons on how to succeed. This is the Coach's Corner. We out.